Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Darlington Nkwazi. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a simple server with Express.js. Express.js is considered the de facto standard server framework for Node.js. It provides a robust set of features for building mobile and web applications. I'm going to show you how to use it to create a simple server in this video. Okay. I already have a folder here for my project. I also have an index.js file, which is basically my main application file. So I've also installed Node.js and npm. So to verify the installation, we'll just come here. That's my terminal, and say node-v and hit enter. And you can see my node version here. All right. I could also say npm -v, and you can see my npm version here, 11.6. Okay, 0.0. So what I'm going to do next is initialize the project, and to do that, I'll just say npm init -y. And this should create a package.json file. All right, that's this one here. Okay. The package.json file just basically contains the metadata and some configuration settings of our project. Like you can see here, we have the name of the project, we have the version of the project, we have the description of the project. For now, there's no description. Okay. And then we have the main application file for this project, which is index.js. This script's key helps us to specify the script commands that we can use with npm. For example, here we have a script command called test. Okay, so if I do npm test, I expect this to be displayed in my terminal. Okay, so let me just show you. So if I say npm test and hit enter, you can see this. Okay, which is the same as what we have here. This keywords key is mainly used when you want to publish your package to npm. Okay, but it is empty by default. Here we have the author of the project, which is empty. Here we have the license for the project, and this type key here basically tells Node.js which module system to use. So what we're going to do now is install Express.js. And to do that, we'll just say we'll come here and say npm install Express and hit enter. This should add a node modules folder to our project and Express to our dependencies. Okay, you can see here that another key has been added, which is dependencies. Okay, and under it we have Express, and of course it specifies the version of Express that we have over here. Okay, the major version is 5, the minor version is 2, and the patch version is 1. Okay, so 5.2.1. So with this, we can proceed to create our basic server. We have a package lock.json file here, and this basically just locks down the exact versions of every package that is installed in our project, and that also includes their dependencies. Okay, so let's proceed to create our server. So the first thing we're going to do is import Express, and to do that we'll just say const Express is equal to require Express. All right, the next thing we're going to do is create the app, and to do that we'll just say const app is equal to Express, and now we'll define the route. So we'll just say app dot get, and we'll add a request object and a response object. Okay, and we want the response to be to send this message. Okay, hello Darlington. And to start the server, I'll just say app dot listen, and I want to use port 3000. So I would say console.log server running on port 3000. Okay. Um, if I save this now and go to my terminal and say npm run index.js and hit enter, it says there's an error somewhere. Let's see what the error is. Um, okay, so I think I'm supposed to add something to this. So I'm supposed to say start. Let's add a script command here. We'll call it start, and we'll say this should be node, and we'll say index.js. So whenever I do npm start, it's going to run this command. Okay, so now if I save it and run it, let's do npm start and hit enter. Okay, so now it's working. We'll just go to our browser and say localhost 3000. And now you can see hello Darlington. So let's go back to our code. We could change the module system settings here. We could change this to module instead of CommonJS. And now if we come here, we have to change this. So instead of writing this, we'll just say import Express from Express, and this should still work. So notice that we are not using this request object, okay? But our code is still valid. In Express.js, these two must be present. A request object must be present and a response object must be present. If one of them is missing, you might encounter problems. For example, if you do something like this, save it, and let's close this. Okay, so now if we do npm start again, our server is running. Okay, but if I go to the browser and refresh, you can see there's an error here. Okay, because we didn't put a request object. All right. So that's why we must always include a request object and a response object. If you don't want to use this request object, you can do something like this and it will still work. Okay, so now if I close this and run it again, our server is running. Now if I go to my browser and refresh, you can see it's now working. Okay, so this is another way to write it. So if you're not going to use the request object or type it out like this, you can just leave an underscore and it will still work. All right. The same rule applies with the response object. So you can't just have a request object like this without a response object. Okay. For example, if we close this, if we just have a request object like this and save it and close this and try to run it again, our server is running. Okay. So now I'll go to my browser and try to refresh this. You see that it says response is not defined. Okay, so this is why you must always include a request object and a response object. Okay, so I'll include the response object. We could also do this. Okay, we could come here and say app.use and we'll say they should have a request object, a response object, and a next function. And we'll say this should be console.log, and it should say login. And Afterwards, it should go to the next middleware. All right. So now if I save it and run it, let me close this and restart the server. Okay, so it's running now. If I refresh this, you can see it now works. Hello, Darlington. So this is another thing that works. That's if you don't want to respond yet. Okay. Um, Now instead of starting and stopping our server at intervals, um, it's best we install a development utility that monitors our Express application for file changes and automatically restarts the server. Okay, so that development utility is Nodemon. Okay, so I'm going to close this and I'm going to say npm install save dash dev. I want to install it in development mode. Save dash dev Nodemon. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. I expect it to be added to this package.json file as a dev dependency. Okay, now you can see that it has been added here as a dev dependency. Okay, so this is it here, and this is the version. Okay, so what we're going to do now is come here and change this to Nodemon and save it. And now we'll come here and say npm start. And now the server is running. So if I go to my browser, you can see it's working. Okay. Um, let's try to make some changes to this index.js file, just to be sure. So let's say I change this to Dalo. Okay, save it. You can see hello Dalo. Okay. Let's change this to login. Okay. So if we save it and run it again, you can see that our code is working. All right, so that's basically how it works. If you enjoyed watching this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks and see you next time.